I'm kind of sick of the negativity myself. I know this is something that you guys are all probably kind of tired of as well. It seems like every time someone from Microsoft or Xbox says something, we definitely see that there is a situation where some of this stuff pops up and people really kind of take it out of hand, out of context. And, I honestly think that clearly Microsoft still has a long way to go, but at the same time I think they're making a lot of strides and things like that. They need to be clear. Like, I'm not hating, I love Xbox, I'll always be with Xbox as long as there is an Xbox, but I have to be 100% honest and say, I also feel like in addition to what's going on with Xbox, that they need to be very clear and very concise with what's going on. That's my opinion, and I'm very much sticking with that. It has to be the way. It literally has to be the way. So Satya Nadella was talking about some things about publishing, the Activision deal and things like that, and people were, I think, running with things out of context when he's talking about publishing on consoles. He's obviously talking about the Activision stuff and doing that. In my opinion, if Microsoft were to ever start arbitrarily putting their first-party games on PlayStation, I think that's a strong signal that, the console is headed in the wrong direction. Microsoft CEO says Activision Blizzard deal helps Xbox become a good publisher on all platforms. Microsoft Activision deal finally came to a long-awaited conclusion back in October of 23, with two companies successfully merging late last year. While the deal makes the Xbox platform a much more inviting one for gamers, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has been keen to point out that the benefits other platforms too, including PlayStation and Nintendo. Speaking to Bloomberg this week, Nadella briefly mentioned that the company's gaming strategy after finally pushing the Activision deal through. Here's what he had to say, and I quote, "We love gaming. In fact, Microsoft Flight Simulator was born even before Windows. But we were number 3, number 4, and now with Activision, I think we have a chance of being a good publisher, quite frankly, on Sony, Nintendo, PC, and Xbox. So yeah, we're excited about that acquisition closing, and I'm glad we got through it." Nadella is quite candid here in realizing Xbox's position in the market before acquiring Activision, admitting that the company was behind Sony and Nintendo in many respects. Clearly, the Xbox team wants to close the gap now, but it won't avoid publishing on other platforms if it actually makes sense to do so. One place where it certainly makes sense in regards to that is like Call of Duty. Microsoft has signed deals with both Sony and Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to their systems for the next 10 years, which will surely be a great moneymaker for Xbox. Obviously, you wouldn't want to change it, but people took a lot of this out of context. I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out for yourselves. So many people took this out of context as, oh, they're going to put everything on this, they're going to put everything on that. I don't know what the future holds, obviously. If I did, I'd be a millionaire. But, at the same time, as a fan of Xbox, you can't lose what makes Xbox special. And I feel like the minute, because let's just face it, Microsoft is never going to comment on every single exclusive and go, yeah, this one's going to come to PlayStation down the line, or this one's not. So that means that it's left to us, the fans, to kind of guess and go, okay, well, what's going to happen here? And I think that's really kind of shitty, to be quite honest. And sorry for the cuss word, but I'm just honest about it, right? Like, we're going to have to take it upon ourselves to go, oh, well, this one won't, or this one will. Like, we should not be left as to guess. I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face, and at the same time, we still don't really know what's happening 100% yet. We're not really sure. So, I would like to say and comment more, because obviously I'm a fan. I will say, and I've mentioned this multiple times, personally, I'm not a fan of sharing the games. This is not that you don't want other people to play the games. It's just that this stuff only seems to come up for Xbox, and not only does it only ever seem to come up on Xbox, but it's something that Xbox fans are harassed with on a daily basis online and things like that. It's really a shame how a lot of Xbox fans get treated when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it makes it so that Xbox doesn't realistically have a sort of Xbox in my, like I said, it just doesn't have that reputation. It doesn't have that that factor that PlayStation and Nintendo have, right? Like, people cast aside Xbox, and then every time there's games that don't come to Xbox, it's going to make people wait, and then people are going to abandon the platform, and then developers are going to abandon the platform, and you might go, "Whoa, CG, aren't you going a little overboard?" Listen, what do you think's going to happen, right? If eventually you could get the big hits a year or so down the road on PlayStation or Nintendo, who in their right mind would buy an Xbox, right? I've got over 1,300 games installed on my Xbox, but I gotta say, if I can save money and not buy another Xbox and play all those Xbox games on PlayStation, why not, right? And I'm not a PlayStation guy, right? I like playing the PlayStation exclusives, but, if Microsoft wants to get cute or whatever, then it kind of is what it is, There's not much I can do about it, clearly, but Microsoft definitely knows what they're doing, and if they don't, I'm sure that all sounds great to their board members or whatever. Hey, we're doing this, or this. But for me, it's something that realistically is one of those things that I'm kind of just shaking my head a bit. I'm like, man, this is really kind of upsetting that this stuff keeps coming up, and they do it to themselves. Look at Blade, the video game, right? This is a first-party game made by a first-party Xbox studio. They don't even have an Xbox logo on this thing, right? What a great time that would have been at the Game Awards to show off your brand, get people excited about your brand, right? But no, we didn't get any of that. Microsoft chose not to show off or even announce what platforms these things are coming to. It is truly can be upsetting. And just listen, as an Xbox fan, I sit there and go, hey, you know what? This is really upsetting. It's one of those things where I don't understand the thought process behind it. I don't understand why, they say one thing and do another. Like, I, as a fan, just let us know, right? Like, that's just, I can't say it any better than that. Let us know what's going on. That's, we can't really ask for much more than that. Like a Band-Aid, rip it off, let us know what's happening, and so we can move on. Like, are we gonna move on to PlayStation? Are we doing this? Are we gonna stick with Xbox? I'm sure Xbox thinks it could be like Google or whatever, and people just play where they want, and that's a good thought. The problem is, if you're putting your stuff elsewhere, why would people play on your platform? I mean, maybe there's like the achievements, and I get that argument, but outside of that, and you might go, there's Game Pass, but still, it's like buying games just kind of comes with the territory. So I don't really see that as something significant. You're going to see the install base shrink. You'll see Game Pass subscribers shrink, because if you're not playing an Xbox anymore, why would you be a Game Pass subscriber? Outside of that, you'll see developers put less content on the platform, because why would they waste time and money putting content on the platform where there's not a lot of people or not a lot of people to buy the stuff? And lastly, the content that we do get is probably going to be half-assed, because why would they take their time with it when there's not a lot of people to really play the stuff to begin with? And this is all Microsoft's doing, in my opinion, right? Like, I get it, they want to put their games on PC, blah blah blah, but if they would have just, like, the Xbox could sell, probably would have sold 15-20 million more if they would have kept their exclusives exclusive, in my opinion, right? I mean, you might make a little bit of that extra money on the back end with some stuff like Starfield, but they could have been doing much better, in my opinion, if they would have just kept exclusives. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.